burning question.
The Supreme Court snubs the opposition parties. It says it cannot form any abstract guidelines against agency investigations. Days ahead of the Prime Minister's visit, the Telangana BJP chief is arrested for his protests against paper leak. Superstar Kicha Sudeep announces that he will be campaigning for Basavaraj Bommai in the upcoming elections. After the Calcutta High Court's rap, Mamata Banerjee's government to deploy central forces on Hanuman Jayanti tomorrow. The Kerala train attack accused is arrested in Maharashtra. It's a terror link right now that is under investigation. Trump attacks Soros-backed attorney after his arraignment. He says his indictment is a quote-unquote conspiracy before the elections of 2024. A very good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, for the longest time, they've been telling you this is a witch hunt. They have been crying foul. They've also been saying we've done nothing wrong, but this government and its agencies are attacking us. They want to weaken us. They want to break opposition unity. For the longest time, they've also been trying to knock on the doors of the Supreme Court, and not the very first time that the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen, has handed them a royal snub, making it absolutely clear that even if you're a Neta, you are not above the law. Not just that, just because you are a Neta and you think that you can be put on a high pedestal, give yourself a reality check. We are at Republic, remember, again, have been fighting a lot of these VVIP racism campaigns, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is taking this a step beyond. When you have 14 different opposition parties who right now, remember, are dealing with charges of corruption in their own backyard. A lot of their netas today are either being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate or by the CBI. Some of these political parties also have their netas and their former ministers right now behind bars. And what did they tell us when you had these netas apprehended? This is a witch hunt. We've done nothing wrong. But today, with the Supreme Court literally coming down heavily on all these political parties, about 14 of them, what does this mean for the so-called opposition unity bogey that we have seen being fronted, being spoken about for some time now? And does this give the ruling BJP an edge right now, where you have the Prime Minister saying that this is a Mahagathbandhan of Bhrashtachar? What does this mean going ahead in a big election year leading up to the big campaign of 2024? Is corruption? Is corruption going to be that number one issue again this election season? That's the burning question, and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. Let's put together everything that's happened on that big story so far, and then we are going to be asking the opposition parties, do they feel embarrassed, or will they still want to be pushing this particular narrative of a witch hunt?
A big red-faced moment for the opposition. The Supreme Court refused to entertain a petition filed by 14 opposition parties led by the Congress. A division bench of Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice J.B. Pardiwala saying it cannot issue general directions without factual context. Bench further said political leaders can't claim a higher immunity than ordinary citizens. Snubbed by the court, the opposition had no other option left but to withdraw the petition.
The court heard us with great patience.
They ultimately did not entertain it, but did not express a single opinion on the merits. They allowed the matter to be withdrawn. They recorded that it's at this stage, which means that full liberty is there for us to come again on new facets, new grounds.
The opposition's attempt to pull out the Neta Card and get special privileges utterly failed.
विपक्ष के कुछ राजनीतिक दल भ्रष्टाचार करने से तो बाज आते नहीं। करोड़ों रुपए का भ्रष्टाचार करने के बाद जब जांच शुरू होती है तो कभी सड़कों पर उतरते हैं, कभी सदन रोकने का काम करते हैं। सभी भ्रष्टाचारी एक मंच पर आने का प्रयास करते हैं, लेकिन ये जनता में भी इनका चेहरा बेनकाब हुआ है और कोर्ट में भी असलियत जानने का मौका मिला है। जांच में सहयोग करें और जो भ्रष्टाचारी उनके खिलाफ कड़ी कार्रवाई।
The opposition parties had alleged arbitrary use of central agencies against the opposition leaders, asking for directions for agencies such as CBI and ED to strictly comply with the laid down guidelines for arrest and bail proceedings. With cracks in the opposition unity getting apparent and routing of the opposition parties in recently held state elections, the opposition is trying everything it can to salvage its position before 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
So what are the options, ladies and gentlemen, before the opposition at all right now? In fact, we were looking at images earlier of the BJP that has hailed this entire decision that has come in from the Supreme Court. What also the BJP says is that the agencies are getting demoralized by such kind of attacks that come in from the opposition that serve no purpose. But let's say good evening to our panel of guests and find out whether this again is going to change the narrative. What will the opposition do next? I do see Gopal Krishna Agarwalji of the BJP with us, along with the Mahesh of the BRS. Ravi Srivastava, he leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party. And I want to take our first question to Professor Monojit Mandal, also expecting Amrit Shenoy of the Congress to be joining us in just a bit. Professor Monojit, what will you do now?
Yes.
What is the next bogey that the opposition plans to raise? Will you apologize at least to the agencies, the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate, for all the words that you have used against these agencies? Or you need to be embarrassed more, Monojit?
There was no order from the Supreme Court, as it was clearly articulated by the advocate, Mr. Manu Singhvi. The court heard the entire matter with great patience, and they did not, pass any adverse order. They just asked for a technical reason that all the political parties cannot come together to have this kind of a petition. Individually, individual cases, that they can come and file. So first of all, there is no question of courts coming down heavily upon all these political leaders, including the TMC, who filed this case jointly. That's point number one. Point number two, the political fight, as also the legal individual fight against CBI and ED will continue. Because apparently, evidently, it is proven beyond reasonable doubt that ED, CBI and income tax, these three are long arms of not the government of India, but the BJP. Are Gopal, Mr. Gopal, please, have patience, I'll call you out.
That it has been
Mr. Gopal, Mr. Gopal, please.
The Supreme Court has rejected your plea.
Gopalji.
No, but your statements are wrong, sir.
No, you can always.
When the Supreme Court has rejected your plea.
Let him complete his opening point, and then we'll go point by point. Because Monojit today is obviously also wanting to hide the entire story of how the Calcutta High Court has pulled up the Mamata Banerjee government. So keep everything in viewpoint, Monojit.
How?
And also when the Supreme Court tells you that you as the Neta are not above the general citizens.
How and when
you
the
are
Calcutta
also
High
a
Court has
regular
pulled up
citizen
Mamata
of the
government?
country. You cannot have special laws,
Why is
Monojit.
planting this narrative, madam?
Monojit,
When did Calcutta High Court pull up Mamata Banerjee?
when will this culture of entitlement, entitlement, I am a Neta, I'm above everyone, I will have special rules, I will have special rules for bail, for arrest, for remand. When will that end, Monojit?
Can I answer? So you need to ask Calcutta High Court
Please.
bench headed by Mr. Justice Rajasekhar Mantha, that why this kind of immunity is given to Mr. Shubhendu Adhikari, that no FIR can be filed against Shubhendu Adhikari without the permission of the court? Is this an immunity given to this particular Neta of BJP?
That is exactly the mistake that you made. Exactly,
we are not
Monojit,
making any mistake.
That you made, because the Supreme
we
Court
are not.
said
You answered the question. Why don't
give
you
us
raise this
specific
question?
examples
Why
where you believe that the agencies are being misused. Now, clearly, till now, you haven't done that. Monojit,
the agencies.
Partha Chatterjee, Anubrata Mandal, Abhishek Banerjee. Right now being investigated by the agencies.
The agencies
Tell me which of these cases
day in and day out.
Which of these cases fake, Monojit?
I am giving you an example. Look at Sharda case. It's been going on for last 10 years. Not a single charge framed by the court. And despite that, one of our leaders were in jail, Mr. Madan Mitra, for 9 months. Not a single charge framed by the court. Only the charge sheet filed by the CBI.
So you should have perhaps given that example in the court. That possibly could have helped you. Now, right now, Monojit, I want to listen to other opposition players also. Let's get in Mahesh. Let's get in Mahesh also from the BRS. Then I'll get in Ravi also, and then Gopalji will come in. Monojit, please pull back. Now, Mahesh ji, what will you do next?
Definitely, we do respect the Supreme Court's decision today.
The BRS was a part of these entire opposition parties that were at the Supreme Court. Why do you believe, sir, that you're about the citizens of the country?
We will fight it politically and also legally.
That's exactly what the court said. You know what the court said, Monojit? And because you have said this, the court said that you say this is for democracy, but this is a plea for politicians. It has exposed you, Monojit. It has exposed you. So you must make sure that this is a political battle. Fight it out. The court said in the political arena.
On a technical
Monojit, you today haven't answered any of the questions that is directed at you. This isn't a legal battle. The court said very clearly, it's a political battle. Please fight this in the political arena. But let me get it, Mahesh ji. Let me get it, Mahesh ji. Monojit, let's listen into the BRS, because you all have been touting this big idea of opposition unity. You know, on one or the other point, you've been saying this is going to be a big rallying point, but what next, Mahesh? What will you do now, Mahesh ji?
Why are you scared of the opposition unity? I don't understand.
No one is scared of opposition unity.
Yes.
Then why 1 second. No one is scared of opposition unity, but then
will be united.
Don't say that the agencies are being misused. Say this is a political battle and Monojit, fight it politically. That's what the court said. Mahesh ji now.
Of course you will.
Mahesh ji of the
definitely
BRS.
Fight it politically, but legal recourse is also there for all the individual
Monojit,
cases.
at least listen to the other opposition players also. You call for opposition unity. You believe there is an opposition unity, but you cannot hear them. Let's also have Mahesh Bigala of the BRS. I can't see him on the screens. Mahesh ji, if you can hear me, what do you do next?
So we do respect the decision, whatever the advice given by the Honorable Supreme Court. But however, what's next? So this will strengthen the parties, all the parties to come together, and every individual.
Yes.
See, the Supreme Court, it is not against any individual or any party.
Yes.
They have given the direction. You can't commit as a combined blanket petition. But now instead of one, there will be 124 petitions will be filed in the Supreme Court.
Yes,
because whenever there is a ruling government, BJP ruling government, out of all the 124 cases, convictions are going on now.
The issue
only
is
18 of them are from the BJP ruled party. So the rest of them are all these cases are going on.
Let him complete his points, so
the
I'm coming
main intention, the Modi himself, they called one
Mahesh, I think you must tackle the elephant in the room. You know, Mahesh ji, for the longest time, even KCR and all your netas, ever since, you've seen Kavita being under the radar, she's being questioned, you've been alleging misuse of agencies. When you go to the court tells you, listen, you are not above the law. You cannot have a different set of rule and a plan of action for the netas. So why are you behaving as if you're above the law and above the citizens?
Absolutely not. Kavita ji went as an individual citizen on her own rights, as a woman, whatever the rights she has, she went as an individual. She didn't go to the Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court as a party leader or something. She acted upon her own individual case as well. and the BRS party, all opposition parties come together to file the case. But at least it's like the Supreme Court has heard and they've given the direction that individual citizens, according to the Section 19, all the individuals can file the case. Then it will be the opposition's cases which will have a more stronger voice, and definitely you will see more than 124 petitions will be filed soon. And it's not only that, it's a unity of all the political parties in the next, before the 2024 elections. People will not only go to the Supreme Court again, they go to the People's Court.
It's a coalition of all the Bhrashtacharis, like the Prime Minister alleges, Maheshji. I don't know how you will fight that narrative, but Ravi, before I go to Gopalji,
And the BJP is the only दूध का धुला हुआ political party in this country.
Leaders from the Aam Aadmi Party, Monojit.
दूध का धुला हुआ political party in this country. BJP is the only political party.
Monojit, let me complete my question.
बिल्कुल अभी
Monojit, you know the next, you should have raised these points in the Supreme Court. The court says we are here for everyone. So just individual cases where you believe that there has been an alleged misuse of agencies. So we'll have to see what happens next. But Ravi, a Kattar Imandar party like the Aam Aadmi Party, with, you know, two of its former ministers, Ravi Srivastava, right now behind bars. Who is Kattar Imandar? Who's Kattar Bhrashtachari right now?
Nobody becomes Bhrashtachari by your saying or my saying. Bhrashtachari is proved only in the court of law.
But you will listen to the agencies at least. What about the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI?
Honorable, there is a court above the Honorable Supreme Court. That is the court of people. And definitely the battle will be fought there. More important is that 14 parties came on one platform. And the Honorable Supreme Court has said, you bring out specific cases. Like my other friend was saying just now, 124 people will be filing cases. They will show it to the Honorable Supreme Court. Look,
so you're not giving up. You know, Ravi, this is fascinating. This is fascinating. Gopalji, they are not giving up. They are saying we are being targeted. And just to jog your memory, Ravi, just to jog your memory, the AGL scam where right now Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi are being grilled. Ravi, listen to this. And let's also see, we do have Amrit Shinoy of the Congress. He was expected to join us. Ravi,
that is snub to the central government today.
People should know this.
One case.
Ravi,
we will not talk about.
You had all the time. You had all the time in the Supreme Court to make those arguments. But clearly, after the snub by the Supreme Court, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi was forced to withdraw that petition. That is also reality. This is not a snub. What is? 1 second. Interesting. We see a lot of opportunity at least here. Monojit helping Ravi helping Mahesh. But gentlemen, listen to this. Ravi, see, the AGL scam where you have Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi being grilled. The liquor gate where Manish Sisodia right now is under arrest. You also have, you know, questions being asked of K. Kavita. Then there is a land for jobs scam where Rabri Devi and Lalu Prasad are being interrogated. Lalu Prasad Yadav convicted already. Recruitment scam where you have Partha already behind the bars. He's from the TMC. There is a cattle smuggling scam. Listen to this. No, Manojit. Be patient. Where Anubrata Mondal is arrested. He's arrested. There is a Jammu and Kashmir cricket scam case where a charge sheet against Farooq Abdullah already has been filed. Then there is a Patra Chaul scam, where you have Sanjay Raut, who's a key accused. The list is endless. The list is endless. Monojit, the BJP is going to be making corruption the number one issue. But Gopalji, tell me something. The BJP has hailed this decision. Monojit, let the BJP respond to that. Monojit, all of you have spoken for the last 15 minutes. Please listen in to the BJP. The BJP representative hasn't spoken yet. Now, Gopalji, the BJP has hailed this decision. You've also said that there was an attempt again and again by the opposition parties to demoralize the agencies. Does this mean that BJP is doodh ki dhuli and corruption is all by the opposition? Are you willing to, you know, self-certify yourself like that?
No, we are not certifying like this. Deepti ji, we have to understand.
No, Ravi, now you must please extend the courtesy and listen to him, please.
15 months. For 15
Yes,
months,
Gopal
you have
ji.
blocked the channel.
The Dipti
You
ji, we have
kept
to
the voice of the
understand
people. Freedom
that
of
this is a
speech.
matter of law. It is not of a perception of
Ravi
opposition
Srivastava,
party
please
or
calm down and
anybody.
be patient, sir. Please extend the courtesy. Gopalji hasn't spoken yet. Please. Yes.
Dipti ji, we have to understand that this is a matter of law. The law of corruption says those who are in corruption position in power, those who are in the position in power, if they have indulged in corruption, they will again only be investigated and they will be prosecuted. The number of opposition leaders,
They means only
if they
the
have the
opposition leaders.
cases
Why are
and they are under arrest,
But
why they
what
are not
about
getting,
the
Manish
taking
Sisodia is not
money?
getting
What
the bail,
about
why
what
Manish
about the
Sisodia is not
Adani
getting the bail,
corruption?
why
What about
Lalu
mining
Yadav is in jail.
corruption?
These cases
What
were
about your
started well
corruption,
before
sir?
them. If the court
Who
has
will
said
handle
very
that?
specifically, Raviji, I have listened to you. They have the courtesy to
Array,
listen
what
to
you have listened?
The-
You tell who will listen to the
Ravi
Adani
ji,
scam? Who will listen to that?
Raviji, you have
Who will listen
spoken.
to Adani scam, sir? You are not allowing people to go in the parliament. Who will listen to Adani scam?
Okay, are you finished? The thing
You know,
is,
Ravi,
the
for some
thing is-
time now, Ravi, that's exactly what I'm saying. That every time there is, this narrative being created. We are being stifled. You're not letting the parliament work. You people are, protesting. You people hold press conferences. You call yourself Kattar Imandar. You have your netas behind bars. The courts do not give you bail. And then you're saying कि हमसे क्यों सवाल पूछते हैं Ravi? I mean, if you just connect the dots, Ravi, you need a new narrative now.
Dipti ji, we have to understand. Dipti
You
ji,
need a new
Dipti
narrative.
Ravi ji,
The
you may-
BJP is
you
very
should-
clear. The Pradhan Mantri says corruption is the number one issue. Do you
thing
as in
is,
the Aam Aadmi Party
you
has
look
any
into
moral
the
high
data,
ground
we have
to
to
speak
look
about
into the
corruption
data.
now?
No, Dipti ji, we have to look into the data.
Ravi,
If the ED rates have increased by
That's what I am
27
asking.
times,
Corruption
there
of
are
everybody's
more
issue.
than 3,000. Ravi ji, you have to keep your mouth shut.
But
Don't
Ravi,
be-
just because till now corruption has been normalized will not mean that corruption is normalized even now. Now this is a government that says na khaunga na khane
The
dunga.
data clearly
If you find
says
holes, in this entire theory,
during
approach the
4 to
Supreme Court.
14,
Put out the evidence
no-
and approach the
there is
court.
no
Ravi, why
normalization
aren't you
of
doing that,
corruption.
Monojit?
The corruption-
Instead of alleging that today the
corruption,
agencies
everybody
are being
should
misused. But
No,
Gopal,
Dipti ji,
yes, Gopalji,
you
is
have
there
to
also
three
valid
people are-
criticism of the BJP
those-
that,
you have
when
to
it
three
comes to
people-
corruption within the
No, no,
BJP, you
Dipti
people
ji,
go
you have
quiet?
three people
Like what happened in the Adani scam, Gopalji? What about the fact that the parliament was not allowed to function? You had the treasury benches only
Why
disrupting
only
the
one
They
parliament.
don't have the patience to listen. This is not the way you want
Why
to.
ठीक है, Ravi, you've asked your question. Let him respond. Let him respond.
Letting others
Why-
speak. The three people are shouting
not
again and
speaking
again.
about-
The same issue. We have to go. This is a matter of
Gopalji,
law.
they say in the parliament it is unusual
No.
that you have the treasury benches not allowing the proceedings to take place.
We are
you guilty
discussing
of
the
that?
Supreme
You do
Court.
not want any
Dipti ji, we are
conversation,
discussing
debates on the
Supreme
Adani
Court
issue,
today.
and this is the reason
The
why you've been
Supreme
doing
Court
this.
Judgment. We are discussing the Supreme Court judgment. The opposition leaders, 14 parties, went to the Supreme Court and with their all the allegation. Today, what the Supreme Court said, कि whoever is under feeling that something wrong has been done, he can come to the court. Opposition leaders have gone to the court. Manish Sisodia is not
they will
getting
go.
bail. Lalu Yadav is in jail.
They will go.
Even Rahul Gandhi and Sonia
Manish
Gandhi
Sisodia
are
is
out in the bail.
tomorrow, High
So
Court.
the issue is
going to High Court
they have gone to the court.
They will-
The court
sir,
has
they
found
will
that
go.
there is a
124
strong case
people will
against them.
go.
They have indulged in corruption. They have looted the country. The data clearly says that between 4 to 14, under PMLA, 5,346 crore assets were attached during 14 to now. this 8 years.
Gopalji,
More
let
than
me
1
ask you
lakh
a
crore
question.
properties
Now,
has
what
been attached.
the opposition in their plea also said, Gopalji, and this is an important question. It's an important question, so I request Monojit, Mahesh
So
ji,
you
and Ravi
should
to listen to
answer-
this. Now, they
also
allege
listen
that
to
there
the
has been a
answers also.
600%, sir, 600% increase in cases by the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI. What they also allege is that 95% of these cases are against opposition netas. So can you actually claim, can the BJP claim that there is nothing wrong within their own party, with any of their netas? The opposition says you're guilty of blocking all these investigations. And that is why such kind of a percentage comes out.
So we have to understand that what is the law of corruption says? Those who are in power, if they are found to be misusing any property or confiscation or corruption, action will be taken against them. 60 years, it is the opposition party which was in power. Ravi, you have to listen to others. No, this is not right. You keep your mouth shut. Mr. Ravi,
Ravi, why are you scared? Why don't you let him respond? At least give him 10 seconds to respond, Ravi. Give him 10 seconds to respond, please. सुनिए ना रवि, कट्टर ईमानदार पार्टियां वाले आप हैं, आप सुनिए तो सही दूसरों को प्लीज. सुनिए प्लीज रवि. गोपाल जी, quickly sir, 10 seconds.
Deepti ji, you have put 3 people against which are supporting the court cases, and they have lost. Now they are out of frustration shouting here, not even ready to listen. The thing is, if the corruption law clearly says those who are in power, and if they misuse the power for their personal benefit, the cases will be filed against them. So if they were there in 60 years, they were in power, they have misused it. Those people against whom the cases are there, those are in jail, they have gone to the court. The court have not accepted their bail. Raviji, you keep your bloody mouth shut. Listen,
we'll please, Gopal ji, please. It's a heated debate, but let's not cross the line. Let's not cross the line, please. Let's please mind our language. No point in getting personal with anyone. Ravi, for the moment, pull back. We've run out of time. But I think there are questions and more questions being raised. The opposition not wanting to accept defeat, Monojit and Ravi, you insist that there will be more petitions that will be filed in the court, and you will go with 124 such petitions is what you say. The BJP is hailing that move. We quickly will head into a break. On the other side, we bring you more debates on this edition of The Burning Question. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, all of you gentlemen.